Well, this has certainly turned out to be a bigger job than I expected. But I think, well, I hope I've made some progress. Anyway, here's a quick recap on what I've done. So I completely disassembled the carburetor again. First of all, I took this manifold off here, removed the bolts, and I smeared some Permatex grey gasket cement just on the bottom of there. I know it comes with an O-ring, but I couldn't help but think that there was still some flow occurring there as well. So smeared gasket cement here. I've also put some gasket cement here as well on both sides of that insulating gasket as well. Just sort of smeared it on there just in case there's any gases or any air getting into that manifold there as well. So then completely disassembled the carburetor. Same with the throttle. I checked that the throttle piston was going all the way down to the bottom of this chamber, and it was. I even removed the needle actually as well, just to make sure that it sits right at the very bottom. And of course it only can sit one way as well down the slide that's inside of the chamber. There's a little notch, I guess, that the gap goes all the way down. And then so that's okay. This breather pipe was split here. I don't think that was a problem actually, because it doesn't go into the chamber. It looks like it goes down into the bowl actually. So it's a breather for the bowl. So it was split and pretty perished here. I'd snipped it and tried to replace it and heated it over this spigot here. But it didn't hold, so what I did, I just simply reversed the pipe. And I guess being inside the battery box, it was a lot more malleable. And so I just turned the pipe around, refitted it here. So that's the throttle, tightened that all down, reseated the bowl, not that it needed reseating, but just checked all that out. Did all the hose clamp here, the pipe, I've checked everything again. And then at the handlebar, what I have done is I've actually removed the throttle cable from the throttle housing. So it's just loose right now. Let me just show you. So here, I've just left the cable out. What I wanted to make sure, just in case that when I refitted all this with the throttle, it wasn't somehow jacking up and pulling up the throttle piston. So hopefully what we have now is all the conditions for a good idle without that racing that's taking place or the overrun. One thing I forgot to mention is this pipe here. This it's a reinforcing pipe for the throttle cable. What I did do is once I got the throttle cable out here of the housing and removed that, I saw that this here, it's got a screw thread that goes into the handlebar switch unit. I just turned it one turn to essentially move it up into the handlebar unit and essentially giving a little bit more slack to the throttle cable, because here this is at its well, I guess it's at its tightest, right? And here again I thought just to give a little bit more play I would tighten that. Finally, I'm going to try and restart the bike. It may take just a minute or so for it to fire because of course I've had the carburetor off and it needs to pull that fuel through. Okay, so the garage door's open. We have fuel on, ignition run switch on. Ignition on, and here goes. Oh, that's better. That's better, guys. Let me try again. Tricky. feels good. That might be it. I'll put the throttle back together now, and I'll obviously be careful, see how that goes, just to make sure that it isn't the throttle cable, and that's been suggested by a couple of folks as well, so thanks for your advice on that, I appreciate it. I've refitted the throttle cable now at the handlebar and tightened everything up there. I'm just going to restart the bike and see if it idles and runs as well as before when the cable was just out. Excellent. So I haven't set the throttle stop screw yet, that's why it's cutting out when I ease off the throttle, but thank goodness that seems to have fixed it. So thanks for everyone's help and advice, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so fuel on, choke on. Oh. Help if I had a battery turned on.